This week, I'll lead you through a slow flow yoga practice, and we're going to focus on some gentle back bends and opening through the front line. Let's get started. For this week's practice, I would suggest having a bit of extra space around your mat. We'll be moving our body a little bit off the mat as well. And you don't necessarily need any props. However, I have some knee pads here. If you have sensitive knees, then bring something that you can use to cushion your knees. Could be a towel as well. And then I have a couple of blocks here. They are very optional. If you know that you often like to use blocks, then have them just somewhere nearby. But like I said, you don't necessarily need any props for today's practice. And then we'll be starting from lying down on the belly. So once you have your mat, you have your space ready, bring yourself to lie down on the front of your body, and you could bring hands under the head and just take a moment to let your belly, let the front of the pelvis kind of sink down towards the mat. And then once you have found a comfortable place, then take a moment to check in with your breath. And you could send a few breaths down towards the belly as if you're breathing onto the mat. And as you're doing that, just notice how that feels in your lower back. And then you could send a few breaths towards the ribs. Just allowing yourself to feel that space around the rib cage, inside the rib cage. And you could send a few breaths towards the chest as well. Or when you're lying down on the belly, if it's easier to find that space in the upper back, maybe between the shoulder blades, you could check in with that space on the back side of the body as well. And then find that space in your lower back. That might involve a little bit of core engagement, so not drawing the belly into the spine, but just having a bit of activation along the front line to support the back line, just finding that balanced alignment that your spine needs. Just so that there's no pinch, there's no pain in the lower back. And keeping that kind of checking in mind when we go into the back bend. So we're not trying to take the movement from one joint, from one place, but trying to find a way to distribute the movement to a lot of places. So there's a little bit of movement from a lot of places rather than a lot of movement from only a few places. Supporting the spine. And then still lying down on the belly. You could bend the knees, kind of lifting the feet up into the air, and then start to circle your feet in the air. And you can allow your hips to move, you can allow your pelvis to move. Kind of let that movement of your shins spread into the thighs, towards the hips. See how much the whole pelvis needs to move, how much the lower back starts to move, or maybe you feel that movement higher up along the spine. We could change the direction of those circles, so we continue circling the feet, but going in the opposite direction.
Notice where you breathe in, where you breathe out along that circle. Allowing the neck and shoulders to stay soft. Let's do a couple more circles. And then slowly let that circling movement come down. Extend the legs onto the mat, onto the floor, and have just a subtle reach through the legs away from the head. So kind of creating a bit more length between the head and the feet. And then we're going to go into twisted cobras. And first side, we'll bring the left hand close or under the left shoulder and then extend the right arm overhead. So both palms are on the mat. And from here, as you inhale, just lightly press down through the hands, especially through that left hand, lifting chest off the mat, twisting out to the left. You pause there for an extra breath. And then with the next exhalation, slowly bring the chest, the head back down, and we'll stay on the same side. So again, as you inhale, peel the chest off the mat. Looking for movement through the upper spine. You might turn your head as well if you want. And then exhale, lower down. We'll do one more round to this side. So with your in-breath, peeling the chest off the mat, twisting out to the left. And then with the next out breath, slowly lower back down. Then we're going to change arms, hands the other way around. So now right hand closer, left arm overhead, legs long. And as you breathe in, open the chest off the mat, twisting out to the right, looking for movement through the mid upper spine. Exhalation again, lower down. We do this a couple more times. So with an in-breath, peeling the chest off the mat. Turning out to the right. And with the next out breath, lower back down, head can come down. One more time to this side with your next breath. Opening the chest away from the mat. Twisting out to the right. Again, maybe we're looking up as well. And exhale, lower down. Bring both hands again under head and just rock the pelvis a bit from side to side. And then we'll go into a half bow pose on the left side. So now we're going to leave the right forearm in front of us, the elbow bend. Bend the left knee and then reach left hand to the left foot. You could hold the outside of the foot, or you could hold the inside of the foot. And then you could stay lower down, or if you want, you could just gently use that left leg to kind of gently kick back, open chest, slightly out to the left. And then breathe here. You might even look out to the side, or you might just turn your gaze down towards the mat. And breathing here, keeping that subtle engagement through the front side, so we are supporting the back here, so we're not just squishing into a back bend, but keeping that length through the spine. And then with your next breath, slowly come back down. We're going to let go of the foot. We'll go to the other side. So now we're going to leave the left forearm, elbow on the mat. Bend the right knee. Reach right hand to the foot. You might flex the toes if that helps. Again, you might hold the inside or outside of that right foot. And then using the right leg, just gently open the chest away from the mat. There's that subtle twist out to the right. You decide how big that twist is. You might look down if that feels better in the neck. And breathing, maybe breathing more towards the ribs. Keeping the neck free. Take another breath in and out. And then slowly you can release down, let go of the right foot. Now bring both hands under the shoulders so you can lift yourself onto all fours. And this is time where you could bring something to cushion the knees if you know that you are going to need something under the knees. Let's do a little bit of circling movement here for the pelvis, for the shoulders. So going a few times round, one way then the other. And now if you want, if you have blocks there and you like to use blocks as arm extensions, you could bring blocks under your hands and bring hands maybe a little bit closer together so that we could start to move our feet from the outside and step them close to the hands. So let's extend the left leg behind us, and then with a big half circle, bring that left foot around the side and step it to the outside of the left hand, leaning gently forward into a lizard. So opening a bit through the front side. On the right side, you could even open the chest. And then we'll slightly push back, bring that left leg around and bring the left knee back on the mat. Same on the other side, extend the right leg and then circle that right foot all the way forward so that we can lean into the lizard on the other side. And you don't have to use blocks, but they might sometimes give a bit more space, especially when we feel that the arms are a bit short. And then again, with the next breath, push the pelvis a bit back and circle that right leg back in. Same again to the left side, circling the left leg forward, stepping into that lizard. We're going to repeat this a few times. You can go in your own pace. And then again, pushing the pelvis back, slightly circling the left knee back in, back to the right side with a big circle. Step that right foot forward, leaning a bit forward. Maybe you keep rotating the right hip open, that's fine. So we don't have to have the whole foot on the mat. And again, pushing the pelvis back, circling that right knee back in. One more time to both sides. Left leg makes a big circle and then stepping that left foot forward. Maybe we try opening the chest a bit here. And then send the pelvis back. Bring the left knee back in. One more time to the right leg. And keep breathing, keep following your breath. You might be breathing in with a certain movement. You might be breathing out with a certain movement. I would also encourage you to play with that. And then again, breathing, sending the pelvis back and come back onto hands and knees. From here, we'll put the blocks aside and we're going to come down onto elbows. So lower down onto elbows. We're going to go into the dolphin. You could interlock fingers, bring hands together, or you could turn palms onto the mat. We're going to lift up into dolphin, lifting the pelvis up, and you could pedal the feet here a bit. You might still adjust your arms so you feel you have steady support through the arms, into the shoulders, into the spine. heels can happily stay off the mat. And breathe here a couple of times in and out. You can let the neck release, the head can drop down. Let's take another breath here, in and out. And then slowly bring your knees back down. And then lean into a child's pose. Lean the pelvis back. And lean head down, or you can bring hands under the head. Knees can be close together or wider apart. Just find a place for the arms that allows your shoulders to relax for a moment. If you feel there's pressure in the wrists, you could kind of bend or circle the wrists a few times. And then from this child's pose, slowly bring yourself up to sitting on the shins, and then bring yourself up to standing on the knees. You might tuck the toes under, or you might release your feet. What feels better, more supportive for you? Where do you feel you can stand on the knees, also without hurting in the knees? And then release arms out to the sides. Here, as you inhale, lengthen arms up overhead. As you exhale, circle them down in front of you. And you can start to move your spine together with the arms. Inhale, open the chest, see if you can find a small back bend. Exhale, circle the arms down, and here you might round your upper back a bit. Couple more times with the in-breath, lengthening up. With the out-breath, arms circle back down. One more time, inhaling up. Exhaling down. Then we'll reverse the circles. Now arms cross in front of you as you inhale. Lift up through the chest. Exhale, arms open sideways down. Keep lifting up through the chest. You can close the chest, cross the arms in front of you. Inhaling up. Exhaling, arms open sideways down. 2 more times. Inhale, start to reach up. Exhaling, maybe you start to find a small back bend as you open the arms. 1 more time. Cross the arms. Inhale up. And now as you exhale, bring arms down behind your lower back, behind the pelvis, and continue lifting up through the chest. We're looking for a small camel pose. So hands supporting the lower back. Send your sit bones down towards the backs of the knees, lifting up through the front of the pelvis and lifting up through the chest. And I'm suggesting we stay here. If you feel that you really want to go into a deeper camel pose, you can. But this is plenty enough for us today as well. It's already a very active pose. We have this lifting up through the front, kind of grounding down through the back, lifting up through the chest bone. Take another breath in and out. Can we still breathe here? And then exhale, release the camel, release the back bend. And then we're going to come down onto hands. And now we might need to move our knee pads a bit. Now we need only one knee pad. Under the right knee, we go into a gate pose. You can step right hand a bit further forward and then turn out to the long side of the mat into a gate pose. Take a moment to adjust the hands, the legs
Here, the right foot could be a bit more behind you. Maybe you're tucking the toes. And we'll continue circling arms here. So as you exhale, bring left hand towards the left hip. Circle the arm in front of you. And as you inhale, open the chest and circle the arm up. Exhaling, the arm comes down. Inhaling, the arm lifts up. Couple more circles. Exhaling down, and with your in-breath, opening up. One more circle. You decide how big the movement is. And then reach the left arm kind of in line with your back. And we're going to lift the left leg up into the air. So now a long line from left hand to left foot. As you exhale, bring left knee and left elbow in front of you. So you're kind of curling and closing in. And then as you inhale, reach them away from each other. And here you could go into a back bend. So you're arching from that left hand to the left foot. Same again. Exhale, closing in the knee, the elbow come towards each other. And then as you inhale, reaching out, like you're opening a long bow shape through the whole body. 2 more times. Exhaling in. And with your in-breath, open through the whole front, reaching the hand, the foot away from each other. Last round. Exhaling in. And inhaling, reaching out. Then bring your left foot, left hand down. Keep the right knee bent. We'll go into a wild thing. So keep your left leg extended, tuck the toes under. And now as you exhale, push down through the hands and lift your right knee towards the belly, towards the chest. And then I'm going to flip the other way around. So now step your right foot behind you. You're turning your pelvis, your belly up towards the ceiling. And from there we can continue into a wild thing. And opening through the front, the right foot pressing down, left leg extended. Right arm could reach up or overhead. And then exhale, we come back down, bring hands down. Bring both knees onto the mat. And let's go into a child's pose here. So you can move your knee pads if needed. And then we're going to lean the pelvis down. Take a moment in that child's pose. Taking pressure, taking weight off the hands, off the wrists. Let the neck, let the shoulders, the whole back soften here a bit. And then we're going to slowly start to find our way onto the other side of that gate. So now on this side, you can slowly bring yourself up. And we're going to come onto the left knee, left hand. I'll turn towards you, but if you want, you can turn the other way on the mat as well. We only need one knee pad here. And then lengthen the right leg. So we have now left hand, left knee on the mat. And just finding where you can find support through that left arm, into the shoulder, into the spine. And then right arm can reach over. We're going to start circling that right arm. So now as you exhale, bring that right hand towards the right hip, down towards the mat. And then inhale, open the chest, circle the arm up. Same again, exhaling down. Inhaling up, opening the chest. Couple more rounds. Follow your own breath.
You decide how big, how small the movement is. One more circle. And then we're going to reach that right arm kind of overhead or in line with the back. And we're going to lift the right leg up into the air, finding our balance. And then as you exhale, bring the right knee, the right elbow in. As you inhale, reach them out, finding that kind of arching bow shape through the body. Again, exhale, bring the right knee, the right elbow in. And inhaling, reach them out, opening through the whole front line. 2 more times. Exhaling in. And inhale, reaching out, the head to the foot, reaching away from each other. 1 more time. Exhaling in. And inhale, reaching out. Then slowly bring both hands onto the mat. Keep the right leg extended. Keep the left knee bent. And we go into the wild thing. So press down through the hands. Keep the right foot toes tucked under. And then lift the left knee off the mat towards the chest, towards the belly. From here, with your next breath, flip the other way around. So step left foot behind you onto the floor. And then start to lift the pelvis up. Again, right arm pressing down. You might look down to the mat if that releases the neck. You might look up. The left foot supporting, pressing down. Opening through the chest. Again, left arm could also reach up to the ceiling. Take another couple of breaths in and out. And then bring both hands to the mat. Bring the left knee back in. And we're going to go lie down on the belly. So you can put your knee pads aside and bring yourself to lie down on the belly. Maybe bring hands under the head or turn one cheek on the mat. And just take a few breaths here in and out. Could rock the pelvis a bit from side to side. We have one more back bend. We'll try the full bow pose and we'll have a couple of options for this. So now we're going to bend the knees, lift the feet up into the air and then reach hands towards the feet. So if it feels okay, you can take hold of your feet, again, from the outside or from the inside. But if that hurts anywhere in the body, you can reach arms behind you, but not take hold of the feet. Both options are good. So finding where your arms need to be, inner thighs engaged, and that support through the front line, that length through the spine. And you can stay very low down. Maybe it's just lifting the chest slightly off the mat. You might look forward. You can keep looking down. If you feel like going further, keeping that length through the spine, you can start to, again, use the legs to kind of very gently kick back to help open the chest more. Be very mindful with the legs, be mindful with your knees. If there's any pain in the knees, don't push through that, come lower down. Remember, you don't need to hold the feet if that hurts. And then just find your breath and trying to check in with the spine. If there's a pinch, if there's a sharp sensation anywhere, could you find a way to distribute the movement into larger areas? So again, a little bit of movement, a little bit of back bending from a lot of places, rather than just hinging from one joint. And the breath can help a lot, just using the breath to find support
to find space. You could take one more breath in and out here. It's a long, long back bend. And then slowly bring the legs, bring the chest down, let go of your feet. Again, if you want, hands could be under head. You could rock a bit from side to side. Or you could bend the knees again and go back to those circles we did in the very beginning. So circling the feet in the air behind you. Going a few times both ways. And then if you have your knees bent, bring your legs down. And then we're going to come into a half butterfly seat. So from lying down on the belly, you can start to kind of reach back through or reach towards the back of the mat through the right leg. Bend your left knee so that you bring yourself into a half butterfly seat where we have the right leg out on the side, left leg in front of us. And the right leg in a place where it doesn't hurt in the knee, doesn't hurt in the hip. So you decide where that right leg needs to be. And we'll go into a side bend. So bring left hand behind your back, behind the pelvis, and then lean over to the right. Take a breath in, lifting yourself a bit higher up, and breathe out. See if you could sink into the pose again. Keeping the chest open, so keeping that kind of subtle lifting up through the chest bone. You might look down if that feels better. You might look up, but keep that lift, kind of shoulder rolling back, lifting up through the chest bone. And then with your next couple of breaths, when you feel you're ready to slowly come out of the side bend, lift yourself back up to center. Keep your legs as they are. But as you exhale, lean into a forward bend. So forward bending half butterfly. Now you could stay on your hands. You could come down onto elbows. You might even bring your chest, head further down if that feels good. And we are giving a bit of a forward bend for the spine. It could be a big opening on the inside of the right leg. Send a couple of breaths towards the back. Let the heavy head drop down. Then with your next couple of breaths, use your hands, your arms to help you lift up slowly. We'll go to the other side. So just change the legs the other way around. Now left leg out on the side, right leg bent. And we go to the side bend first. So right hand behind the back. And then we lean over towards the left leg. With an in-breath, again, lift yourself a bit higher up, open the chest, and exhale, sinking back into that side bend. Keeping that lift up through the chest bone. Maybe looking up, if that tenses the neck. See if you could find an easier place for the head, for the neck. And keep breathing. Nice slow breaths in and out. We are just slowly coming towards the end of the practice, so we are just calming down, slowing down a bit. Take another breath in and out. And then slowly bring yourself back upright. And we lean into that forward bend. So step hands in front of you. And exhale round the back, maybe going a bit further down.
Maybe elbows come down. Maybe head drops down if that feels okay. And then breathing here, you can breathe towards the back side of the body. And let the head become just a bit heavier. Take another breath in and out. And then slowly, slowly start to lift yourself back up into a seat. And then we're going to come lie down into a Shavasana pose. So find your way lying down. And you could swing the legs a bit here or add another movement. What would help you to calm down for a brief rest, a brief Shavasana pose? Or maybe you need a longer Shavasana pose today. That would be very fine. I'm just suggesting to take at least a moment in this resting pose. You might extend your legs, you might leave your knees bent if that feels better. And then invite your awareness back to your breath. Maybe a few breaths down towards the belly. Maybe a few breaths towards the bottom of the rib cage. Maybe a few breaths towards the chest space. Just noticing all that space that you have available for your breaths. And then just let your breath relax. Observe your natural breath pattern, the natural pace of your breathing, that natural rhythm in your own breath. And let yourself just be for a moment. Give yourself another 5 to 10 breaths in your resting pose. Then with your next few breaths, see if you are feeling ready to come out of that resting pose, or if you'd like to stay in for longer. If you want to stay in, just ignore me. Ignore what I'm going to say next. Let yourself stay there as long as you want. And when you feel ready to start waking yourself up, you can start to move your body, move your hands, your feet. You swing the legs, or reach your hands and legs out long. And then in your own time, bring yourself up into a seat, into your own final seat, whatever that pose, whatever that seat, that shape is for you today. And you can bring hands in front of the chest if that's part of your practice. And as always, most importantly, thank yourself for taking this time to move, to breathe, to check in with yourself. And I thank you very much for joining in, for sharing this practice. Namaste.